We are all grateful to Pope Francis for the canonization of Mother Teresa of Calcutta, just about 2 months away now. There can be no more appropriate time for this great event for the life of the whole Church than during this Jubilee Year of Mercy, which Pope Francis has proclaimed. Mother Teresa, with her total and unconditional commitment to charity for the poorest of the poor, is the mercy of God in action. We see the face of mercy in her missionaries of charity. Pope Francis, in fact, in his Bull of Indiction proclaiming this Jubilee Year of Mercy, entitled the document, The Face of Mercy. Jesus Christ is the face of God's mercy. Mother Teresa understood this. She always spoke about recognizing Jesus in the many disguises that he uses, especially in the poorest of the poor. She saw him in the poor and became his face, the face of mercy to them. It's especially a great joy for us in the Archdiocese of San Francisco, as the missionaries of charity are such a prominent presence for us and a tremendous blessing for the life of our local church and the many ministries they carry out, the AIDS hospice, caring for poor, needy women, feeding the poor. Most especially, we have the great blessing of hosting their novitiate for all of the Americas in the Archdiocese of San Francisco. So I wish to offer a personal word of congratulations to our missionaries of charity and to assure you of our great love for you, our appreciation for the wonderful face of mercy you show to everyone, and assurance of our prayers. They are great inspiration to us all, and I especially appeal to young people to look to them for inspiration, to see the real joy that comes from following God's call in one's life. So be open to that call to a religious vocation, that God may be calling you to serve him in this very special, particular way of dedicating your life completely to him and to service of his people. Be open to God and God's call. He will work great things through you if you do.
So Archbishop Cordileone shared those thoughts when he was in Rome in July. It's certainly clear he has a special attachment to St. Teresa's missionaries, and this became even more so clear earlier this year when he appointed one of his deacons to be chaplain to the missionaries of charity in the Archdiocese. We're very lucky today to have that man as our special guest, Deacon Rory Desmond. Deacon Rory was born in County Cork in Ireland. He worked in the world of finance in San Francisco for a number of years and then discerned his vocation as a deacon several years ago. But he brings his own previous devotion to St. Teresa's work now to his new assignment. Welcome, Deacon.
Thank you.
And please, would you tell us how you first experienced the missionaries of charity and Mother Teresa during your time in India?
Thank you for having me, Mike. I first met the sisters in India. I'm, as you said, permanent deacon for the Archdiocese of San Francisco, but I also work in India every year, and I go there each year working in a missionary diocese, one of the newest parts of the Catholic Church in northeast India, a place called Miao. The bishop of that area, Bishop George, was personal friends with Mother, and she made him chaplain to her order. And when he was doing his missionary work, building up the church in this remote part of India, she collaborated with him from day one and sent him some of her sisters who were one of the first to work with him. And to this day, they're working with him in a very remote part of the church in the Himalayas. And I met them through him. When I go there every year, working with him, and they work with him, and I witness their work as I work with him. I've seen them work at famine relief in Miao. And something I've noticed about the sisters is that no matter where they are, they're always at the periphery. So Miao itself is one of the most remote dioceses in the whole Catholic Church. And in this most remote diocese, they're in the most remote region.
And there's an echo of Pope Francis there in the periphery.
Absolutely. Yeah. They're completely at the periphery. They're with the poor, they're with the poorest of the poor. And in Miao, unfortunately, we are currently having a famine. And the sisters are the ones we turn to help us with that. They're in a little shack, a bamboo hut, out of which they feed between 200 and 500 children a week, a bowl of rice each per day. That's the kind of work they're doing.
And you go there every year, and then this year, Archbishop Cordileone asked you to be deacon chaplain to the sisters here. Could you tell us what that work entails?
Yes, the sisters are heavily involved in the Archdiocese of San Francisco. They have 3 locations in our Archdiocese. They work in the city in 2 of the locations. One is on Sadoa Street, a convent called Queen of Peace. It's a convent, and then upstairs is a shelter or a home for poor women who are either pregnant or have a child. These are women who have been living in the shelters or on the streets, and the sisters take them out of the streets and give them a home and a safe place to live with their children. Also, out of Sadoa Street, there's a soup kitchen, which every morning at Sadoa Street is open to feed the local elderly poor. And out of that same kitchen every afternoon, the sisters travel to St. Anthony of Padua Church on Cesar Chavez. And there they feed the homeless in a kitchen there every day. Except on Sundays when they actually go to the underpass at Cesar Chavez by 26th.
And how are you able yourself as deacon chaplain to assist them or to be a part of that?
As their deacon and as their chaplain, I work alongside with the sisters, serving the people they serve, and I also serve the sisters themselves. So I serve alongside them, both feeding the homeless, working in the shelter with the women and children, and at Pacifica, where they have a gift of love hospice. It's an AIDS hospice, again for homeless people mostly, who tragically are still dying of AIDS because of the context in which they have to live. The sisters give them dignity. I work alongside with them on that.
So when we come back from this next break, we would love to hear more about those activities of mercy that the sisters and you are engaged in San Francisco.
Thank you.